Hi everybody and welcome to our week number 4 Twitch live stream. Hard to believe that we have this week and next week and then we are done with our class. I see a bunch of you getting logged in. Happy Monday evening. I know it's kind of a different night. Sorry about that. But I'm glad some of you could join me. Can you all hear me and see me okay? Can someone give me a yes or thumbs up if everything is coming through all right on your end? Just before I get going, make sure you can hear and see me. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know. That's great. Let's head over to Canvas together and take a look at where we are at. So we are right here, week number 4, right? So this is our last kind of normal traditional week. And then next week we do have one more week, but there's just a couple of things going on next week, which I'll mention a little bit later just to make sure you're feeling good about them. But I have graded everything from week number 3 earlier today. I sent out some feedback. Overall, really nicely done on both the discussions and also on the exam. A lot of really wonderful, jobs on both. So really nicely done. A lot of you doing a fantastic job just with the class overall. If you find that you're still losing a couple of points on the discussions, try and give me a little bit more. There were a few of you I gave that piece of feedback to, but not nearly as many as last week. So I'm seeing a lot of improvement on that. And if you wish you had done a little bit better on the exam, we do have one last one this week if you'd like to kind of make sure you do that study guide and prepare. Otherwise, it seems like a lot of you are just doing a beautiful job and have settled into the class and are doing great. So that makes me really happy to see. So let's talk about what we have going on this week for week number 4. And this week we are looking at the topics of stress and health, psychological disorders, therapies, and social psych. So like usual, 4 chapters. And so with each chapter, like always, you're going to want to do 3 things. Read the chapter in the ebook, read through the lecture, and watch the lecture video. And don't forget to click on any links that are there, explore everything that I give to you. All of it together is meant to help you understand. So hopefully between those 3 components, everything is very clear, but make sure you do that for all 4 chapters, the last 4 chapters of our Psyched textbook. And then once you've done that, you do have 2 discussions and an exam, and then of course the extra credit like normal. So let's go ahead and take a look at those together. Let's look at discussion 7 and 8. And as always, if you have any questions as we're going through, feel free to put them in the chat. But as usual, you have my instructions up here, followed by a video. This video is much newer, right? A lot of the videos are old. I've been trying to kind of redo them as we go along. But this one is related to self-care. And this is something that you're going to spend a lot of time on next week. It's one of the kind of closing final assignments where you're reading that other book that you purchased. And as a side note, if you'd like to kind of start working ahead on next week, that's a great thing that you could do. Start reading that self-care book because it is something you'll need to do next week. Okay, so with this one, what you're doing is you're reading a very short article right here, and you're just going to define what is self-care, right? Why it's important, define and describe. The big part of this is I'm having you take and upload 5 pictures of you engaging in a self-care activity. I'm trying to promote self-care for you, and this can literally be anything. It doesn't have to be anything like complicated. It could be as simple as taking a nap, eating your favorite food, getting a coffee, getting a Jamba Juice. I got Jamba Juice earlier. I thought about taking a picture of it. Getting your nails done. It could be going on a walk. It could be going to the beach. It could literally be anything. It doesn't have to cost money. It can be free. And then what you're going to do is take a picture of yourself engaging in that activity, any part of it, right? So if you get like your favorite drink, take a picture of the drink. If you take a nap, it could be a picture of like your pillow. Try and make the pictures fun and creative. That's what I'm grading you on, is your image and your description as your credit for doing it. So have fun with it, be creative. You don't have to be in the picture. In fact, it's probably easier if you're not, but you can do any part of your activity. And then you're just going to write a short description of what you did and how it promotes self-care. So hopefully this one's kind of fun to do. Again, any 5 things that are caring for yourself literally can be anything. There are no limits. And then don't forget to also reply to a classmate. Oh, and you can see some of you have already done this. I look forward to looking at all of your images. This one's kind of a fun one to look through. For discussion number 8, your last discussion that you need to do, let's take a look at that one. Discussion number 8, as always, you have my instructions up here. You have my video. This one's related to social psychology. So for this one, you're going to perform 3 random acts of kindness. And these can be on somebody you know or somebody you don't know, completely up to you. So it can be something that you do like within your house, your family, your friends, if you don't want to do this out in the world. Or it could be a random person like at the grocery store. You're going to describe what you did, what were the reactions, your thoughts, and all of that. You're going to describe a time when you were a victim of prejudice or discrimination. This could be based on your race, age, ethnicity, orientation, gender, religion, ability, literally any element of who you are, of your identity. What happened? What were your reactions? If you have never been a victim of prejudice or discrimination, you are definitely in the minority, but it's possible. You can describe somebody else that you know. You can describe an example from a film. Either one would be totally fine, but I would assume most of you have had at least one moment based on some element of your identity. And then what are some strategies that you can employ, that people can employ to help reduce prejudice and discrimination? So you'll hit reply, and then don't forget to also reply to a classmate to get that 2 points of credit. Those are your last 2 discussions. And then you have exam number 4. And exam 4 is on everything from this week, so chapters 13, 14, 15, and 16. And like always, you do have a study guide right here. So if you click on this, remember if it's on the study guide, it will be on the test. So this one is everything from these 4 chapters. Make sure you know all these terms. Same suggestions as previously. Make sure you have 75 minutes, good internet, a nice quiet place to take it, that you've studied and prepared, all that kind of stuff to set yourself up for success. I hope you all do really well. A lot of you have just been nailing these exams, so I hope that's the case again this week. Hope that you do a great job with it. You also have the opportunity for some extra credit, which I'll give you in a moment. I have a couple of reminders and then the extra credit. Again, kind of short and sweet as we settle into our class. As I mentioned though really quickly, week number 5 will open up next week. And all that you have next week are 2 assignments. So it's kind of like a different week, a closing week, if you will. You have a self-care and mindfulness assignment and a closing assignment. Both of them are worth 25 points, so you definitely want to take them seriously. But what you'll be doing is reading that self-care book and doing some questions and worksheets from the book. And then you'll be reflecting back on 5 things that you can apply to your life that you've learned about in this class. So if you wanted to kind of get a jump start on that, because maybe you know you have a busy week next week, definitely work on reading the self-care book. That's probably the biggest thing that you can do for yourself. And then next week when I meet with you for the last time, I'll go over the instructions for both of these. We'll talk about them together. But if you wanted to get going on them, that's one way that you could start doing that. Okay, so our class officially ends, right? If you're thinking ahead, our class officially ends June 29th, which is a Sunday. So Sunday, June 29th. So we have this week, next week, and next week's Sunday night is our last night. So just make sure everything next week is done by that deadline, just to kind of put that on your mind. Otherwise, I have a couple of quick reminders for you, and then I'll see if you have any questions for me. I did type this out earlier, so I'm going to put it here. If you haven't figured out the subscription piece on Twitch, it would be great if you could. It saves me, as I said, so much time and energy, and I really appreciate those of you who have gone through the steps to do it. Should be free if you follow the steps for that student Prime, unless someone in your family has Prime. The other reminder I have for you, let me put this in the chat. Our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, June 25th at 8 o'clock p.m. Okay, so back to our normal day and time next week. Sorry to have it so close together. I feel like we just met just a few days ago, but I had to do it today because we are going to Hawaii on Wednesday, right? Been such a difficult 2 weeks for me at this point, right? Seems like all of our vacations, for whatever reason, fell very close together and in the month of June. So I wanted to make sure that I could still meet with all of you, so we're meeting tonight. So I'm sorry about the different timing, but next week we will meet Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m., June 25th. Let me give you the extra credit question for tonight, and then I can show you where to answer that. So I'm going to copy and paste this and put it in the chat. This is the week number 4 Twitch extra credit question. Okay, so the question for you is what are norms and give me a specific example. What are norms and give me a specific example. And this can be literally anything. But when you're ready to answer that, you'll go to optional Twitch extra credit number 4 since we're in week 4. You'll click on that. And then up at the top, you can click on Start Assignment to open that text box where you can type your response. And then when you're ready, go ahead and hit Submit. Okay, so when you're ready, you can go ahead and do that. Oh, look, little trophies and confetti. This is where 5 points. A lot of you have been doing these, which I think is fantastic. This is due Sunday night by 11:59 p.m., like everything else from this week. So if you are feeling good and you don't have any questions, you're totally welcome to go. That's kind of everything I wanted to go over with you. But if you have any questions, I will hang out for a little bit. Again, kind of short and sweet, but a big part of this is giving you an opportunity if you do have any questions for me, right? Treat yourself right. Speaking of self-care, right? If I were to take pictures of my self-care activities in the last week, it would be carnival melting cake and then hopefully sitting on a beach in Oahu. So again, it all happened to fall at the same time for whatever reason. Okay, so again, thank you so much for those of you joining me live. And if you're watching this later as a recording, I appreciate that as well. I appreciate the engagement with all of you. So I'm going to minimize my video, but if you do have any questions, I'm here. I'll hang out for a little bit, and I'm more than happy to show you something or answer them. Otherwise, thank you all so much. I'm going to put that in the chat. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Enjoy this very hot summery weather that we have going on, and stay safe out there. I know we had a little fire kind of close by today, so hope you're taking care of yourself and enjoying your summer. And again, I'm here if you do think of any questions in the coming minutes. Thank you as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. And I am still here.